An interesting July schedule twist, less races in California, and 3-day shows are on the rise. We offer up some thoughts on the newly released 2026 high limit schedule on today's edition of the Sprint Car Unlimited 90 at 9. We kick things off with a summer shakeup in which Port Royal Speedway receives two more races that are scheduled for July 25th and 26th. It gives the Juniata County Oval 8 high limit races on the season, which is a pretty big number. But my focus with this twofer is what it could mean going forward in central Pennsylvania. See, when the Knoxville Nationals moved back a week, the World of Outlaws made some changes to its 2026 schedule. The biggest tweak came when the Outlaw Brass went from a one-day Sunday show at Weedsport to a two-day weekend event at the New York facility. In doing so, the Summer Nationals at Williams Grove moved back a week to July 31st and August 1st. Here's the problem. The World of Outlaws left a week open in central PA right after the King's Royal, and High Limit jumped in with a two-day show at Port Royal. You might be thinking, so what? Well, when the calendar changes next year, and if the Nationals goes back to its normal spot, and this Port Royal deal takes off, it's going to be dicey for the Summer Nationals as far as placement on the 2027 schedule. I figured this would happen at some point with two national series vying for the same real estate in the same region, or at the very least, when you have two flagship tracks close to one another. We will have to see how this one pans out. It came as no surprise that High Limit decided not to go back to California early in the 2026 season. These races didn't do as well as expected, and Brad Sweet wasted little time pulling the plug on this experiment, which saves his team some drive time and probably some money. Piggybacking that, I just don't think the West Coast fan base is big enough to support 3 trips to the region by national tours, especially when 2 of them are back-to-back in the fall. This was a good no-go next season. Finally, High Limit turned 2-day shows at Las Vegas and Central Arizona into 3-day affairs. That gives the series 7 3-day events on the slate, which is 31% of the schedule at 6 different speedways. This is something teams have been clamoring for years, and it's also a good way to build events that return year in and year out. A win-win. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Sprint Car Unlimited 90 at 9. We'll be back tomorrow. Stay tuned.